everyone, welcome back to the workshop. 2023 is gone and we are already over a week into 2024, and last year was a really good year for me. I just wanted to recap what happened last year, what's happening this year, and all of the big news that has been happening, the big things that have been happening here recently. So last year I started the shop out. I had the Reed Prentice lathe. I had a couple of little pieces of equipment, but there were things I really needed to be able to be productive here in the shop. I really needed a larger truck. My F100, it is an amazing daily driver, but it is not suitable for hauling bigger machines. I thought my solution to that was to buy an International Loadstar for $500 and fix it. Well, the scope of the project just kept growing. I swapped out the motor, I did this, I did that. It was a mistake. It was a big mistake. It was 6 months of just bad. I learned a lot from it. And when I got rid of the Loadstar, I got the Astro. The Astro is a much better vehicle. It runs, it drives, it is what I want. It can haul more. It's just a better truck. It's significantly better. And I share a similar story with my radial arm drill presses. I bought 2 of them last year. I bought the HCP. It was a fairly large drill press, or not drill press, sorry, radial arm drill, kind of the same thing, for $600. Now that machine needed to be completely cleaned, completely freed up, had 3 separate motors, it had a lot of damage, and it wasn't a great machine. I knew it wasn't a great machine, but I had hoped that I could clean it and it would end up a good machine. Well, after the Loadstar debacle, I decided to not do that again and not make that mistake again. I have customers that need my radial arm drill to be operational. They need parts made. So I sold it. Well, I didn't sell it. I took it apart and scrapped it. The top half, the column and the arm, that all went to the scrapyard. The base, which is this massive machined T-slot table, basically is going to a friend of mine as a welding table, and also for engine teardown and transmission teardown. It has coolant passages built in, so it can drain into a sump. And then I bought the Cincinnati radial arm drill. So I learned those big lessons. I bought a piece of land. Well, I started the lease on a piece of land, lease to own. And I've already got a fair amount of equity in that piece of property. It is about an hour from where I am now. It's nothing but dirt. And one of the biggest things I've fretted over last year was finding a building to put on this piece of property and trying to find a shop space that is a little bit bigger than this that I could afford, because frankly I don't have a whole lot of money to spend on a brand new big metal building. Well, a neighbor came over as I was loading up parts for my Loadstar, and he asked, "Hey, I've just bought a property and there's all this metal on this property and I don't want to deal with it. Can you come over? Do you want to come over and take a look and get rid of it for me and just see if you'd be interested in it? I'm giving it to you. I just don't want to deal with it." And I said, absolutely. Absolutely. That is a deal that I can definitely buy into. It helps him because he owns a fairly large company. He doesn't want to deal with it. He doesn't want to spend money to clean it up. And it helps me because then I get this tooling and equipment and stuff. It's not anything that's major. It's some pulleys, some little gearboxes. It's a lot of interesting stuff. A lot of conduit for running electrical, which is actually pretty big for me. But on this property is a 20-foot wide by 60-foot long Quonset hut. And I asked him what he was going to do with the building. He said, "I'm going to tear it down. I don't want it." I said, "I will buy it from you." It is a World War II era Quonset hut, and it is in fairly good shape. things in this area don't usually rust away. We don't have a lot of salt or a lot of corrosive um, chemicals around here. It's a fairly dry area most of the year. So I'm buying that building for $2,000 along with all of the material on it, all of the metal, I should say. Um, I'm not buying the metal, I'm getting rid of it for him. And I'm probably going to be getting rid of all of the wood on the property as well for him. So that is incredibly exciting. That saves me a massive, massive cost. Um, and I keep getting more customers to pay for these things. And so I was really worried about time. I have this building I need to disassemble and remove, and this property I have to clean up. I need to finish the bulldozer, which is probably something I'm going to be pushing for next week. I just don't have enough time. And my job, they fired me. They got rid of me. I always show up to work a couple of minutes late. I just don't want to get up in the morning and go to work for them, but I felt I needed the paycheck, and I kind of still do, but we'll get back to that later. So they ended up firing me over showing up, 5 minutes late, sometimes 10 minutes late, but it was pretty rare that I was that late. And they let me go over that. And right as they did that, my customer hits me. One of my customers orders a lot more plates to be drilled. So at this point, I could go out and find another job, and I think the same thing would happen. I would get frustrated with working for someone else because I just don't want to do that, and I don't think it would work out very well for me. What I'm going to do instead is hammer on the business and do all of the back end, the business work, which I really enjoy, the business part of a business, as well as the actual machining. I enjoy everything about running a business, meeting customers, doing all of the paperwork and the tax work, and all of these things I enjoy doing and I don't mind doing. So this is really a golden opportunity for me to hammer on this and get the business part of it situated completely, because it isn't. There's a couple things I need to do still. Find more customers and just get rocking and rolling with my business. And a part of my business is growing my capabilities. And how do I grow my capabilities here? Well, I kind of can't. I have to get out onto this property with this building, and I have to live out there to be able to really grow my capabilities. But I'm still acquiring machine tools. I'm still buying machine tools when I find them for prices I simply cannot refuse. I am buying a Lucas Model 31 horizontal boring mill. It's a bit smaller than I would like, but it is still a fairly good machine. Woods Creek Machine Shop, who lives in the same state that I do, was going to buy this machine and put it in his shop, but he just doesn't have the room, doesn't have the time, and he put it on Instagram. I saw it, Lucas 31 for $800, and I immediately said, I will send a deposit, just hold it there for a little bit. It's going to take me some time to get up there to get it, but I will buy it from you. So that is insanely exciting to have a proper horizontal boring mill. I have my K&T, the Reed Prentice, the surface grinder now, the radial arm drill, and I'm getting some other equipment. Adam gave me the big Lindy 450 welder, and he's also selling me the K&T 2D, because he just doesn't, he's like me, he doesn't have enough room, but he sadly doesn't have the option of moving into a larger building. So that is what's happening here in the workshop. That is sort of the update of what's been happening in 2023, what's been happening here in 2024. It's already been exciting, and things are moving insanely quickly for me. My piece of land I and leasing, it hasn't been surveyed in over 100 years, and I was extremely worried about that. I spent most of 2023 trying to find a surveyor. Most people would quote me $5,000 up to $15,000, which I just simply couldn't afford, until I finally found a surveyor who was willing to do it for a little over $2,500, or a little under $2,500, which was a price that I could just barely afford. So they've been working on it. They said, look, this is going to have to be a pet project of ours, and it's going to take some time. Just, we'll let you know if we need anything from you, but it's going to be a while. Well, that started in October, and they should be finishing up the survey this month, which is insanely exciting. Then I have to go through the process of the building permit, and I have to get enough money for the concrete. I'm probably going to wait a few months to actually put the building up. I'll have to wait a few months, probably until spring, to be able to put this building up and really develop that piece of property. But that gives me plenty of time to hammer down on the business, hammer down on some projects that I have here. The bulldozer, which is sort of instrumental. I'm still thinking about buying a proper bulldozer now that I have the Astro and a proper way to move a real bulldozer. But I still think that the one I'm building is going to be my best option as far as long term. Short term, yeah, I could fudge a little bulldozer through this project, but long term, I think that building my own is still my best option. So with all that being said, thank you all for watching, liking, and subscribing. And if you need any machine work and you are in the Pacific Northwest, hit me up at hiddenworldmfg@hotmail.com, because my schedule is open. Have a good day.